Puerta de Isabel II, opened in 1861, the last gate to be built in Intramuros, part of the route of tranvia or streetcar in the 19th century. Damaged during the Battle of Manila in 1945, restored in 1966, a statue of Queen Isabel II originally unveiled Plaza Arroceros, removed originally unveiled at Plaza in 1868, placed in front of Malay Church from 1896 until 1970, moved to present site in 1975. Chambers built in 1837 extending from Baluarte de Santo Domingo to Baluarte de San Gabriel, used as military medical quarters and storehouse.
Aduana or the Custom House, designed by Thomas Cortes and built from 1823 to 1829. Damaged in the 1863 earthquake. Demolished in 1872. New building erected from 1874 to 1876. Housed the Customs Office, the Intendencia General de Hacienda or the Central Administration, the Treasury, as well as the new Casa de Moneda or the Mint. Building left to the Intendencia and the Treasury after the Customs moved to port area. Damaged by Japanese bombs in 1941 and American artillery in 1945. Became offices of the Central Bank of the Philippines, the National Treasury, and the Commission on Elections successively. Destroyed by fire in 1979. Package restored by the National Archives in 1998.
The Plaza Santo Tomas, lot originally purchased by the Dominican Order in 1627 for their cemetery and garden, bought by city government in 1861 as a public plaza, given to the University of Santo Tomas in 1879. Bronze statue of University of Santo Tomas, founded by Archbishop Miguel de Benavides, erected in 1891. Original monument transferred to present campus along España Street after the war.
Ayuntamiento, Casa Consistoriales, seat of City Council of Manila. First structure built from 1599 to 1607, severely damaged in the earthquakes of 1645 and 1658, demolished to make way for new building. Second build constructed in 1735, destroyed in 1863 earthquake. Reconstruction by military engineer Eduardo Lopez Navarro began in 1874 and completed in 1884. Became headquarters of the 18th U.S. Army Corps in 1901. Site of session of the First Philippine Assembly in 1907 and Philippine legislation in 1935. Housed the offices of Bureau of Justice and Supreme Court during the American and Commonwealth period. Destroyed in the Battle of Manila in 1945, reconstructed to use the offices of the Bureau of the Treasury.
Plaza de Roma, formerly called as Plaza Mayor, converted into a park in 1797, renamed Plaza McKinley after U.S. President William McKinley in 1901, renamed Plaza de Roma in 1961 to honor Sacred College of Cardinals in Rome following elevation of First Filipino Cardinal Rufino J. Santos. Bronze monument to Carlos IV to Spain erected in 1824 as a tribute for the introduction of a smallpox vaccine in the Philippines. Foundation built in 1886. Statue replaced by Gombursa Monument in 1960s. Statues returned in 1981. Manila Metropolitan Cathedral. This is the 8th structure to rise on. This site is the first cathedral was built of nipa in 1571 and was raised by fire in 1583. The second was made of the stone and mortar in 1591 but was destroyed by earthquakes in 1599 and 1600. The third was built in 1614 and was again wiped out the earthquakes in 1621 and 1645. The fourth was constructed from 1564 and 1681, damaged by typhoons and earthquakes, and subsequently demolished in 1751. The fifth was inaugurated in 1760 and destroyed by earthquake in 1863. The seventh was inaugurated in 1879, damaged by the 1880 earthquake and totally destroyed in the 1945 Battle of Manila. The present cathedral was completed in 1958, was elevated to the rank of Bastilla Minore by Pope John Paul II in 1983.
Bahay Chinoy or the Kaisa Heritage Center, a museum that showcases the tangible imprints and lasting influence of the Chinese whose presence in the Philippines dates back long before the Europeans sought alternate routes to the Moluccas. The museum holds lifelike dioramas depicting the lives of the early Chinese immigrants and ancient Chinese maps and annals. Interesting items on display are trade wares brought by the Chinese, rare coins, and ceramics unearthed from archaeological excavations in the Philippines. Antique religious images, furniture, farm implements, household items, and a replica of a sampan or the Chinese sailboat.
The Plazuela de Santa Isabel, made part of Santa Isabel College which lacked an open space characteristic of Spanish buildings. Empty lot called Sampalucan along Calle Anda joined to enlarge Plazuela in 18th century. Restored in 1983, monument dedicated to the non-combat victims of the last war, erected in 1995 by Memory Manila in 1945.
San Agustin Church and Convent. San Agustin Church is the oldest church in the Philippines, known as the Church of St. Paul. The first church of the Augustinian order was built in 1571, destroyed by Chinese pirates in 1574. Rebuilt a year later, venue of the First Dionysian Synod in 1581. Burned in 1583 and third church destroyed by fire in 1586. Fourth church made of stone was designed by Juan Macias and built from 1587 to 1604. Looted during the British invasion in 1762. Terms of surrender of Manila to the Americans were discussed in the vestry in 1898. Damaged in the Battle of Manila in 1945. Repaired after the war. Became the site of the first Philippine Plenary Council in 1953, declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1994.
Plaza San Luis Complex, named after one of the barrios of old Intramuros. This is a cultural aim commercial complex of 9 houses representing designs of Philippine Hispanic architecture. Aside from gift and special shops, a fine dining restaurant and an hotel. The complex features Casa Manila, a museum showing the affluent lifestyle at the turn of the 20th century. Displayed a unique and valuable artifact from the Intramuros Administration Museum collection.